good? Okay. About there? Good. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Superintendent John Lovelace, and I'm here to provide you with an update on the incident at Huntington Station that took place here last night. It's a shocking incident, and first and foremost, my thoughts are with the family and friends of those who've been affected and those who are injured. At approximately 7:42 p.m. yesterday evening, there were calls to the police service in relation to multiple stabbings which took place on board a train service that departed Doncaster at 6:25 p.m. and was en route to London King's Cross Station. Officers immediately attended Huntington Station alongside paramedics, where armed police officers from Cambridgeshire Police boarded the train and arrested 2 people. Within 8 minutes of the 999 call being made, 2 men were brought into police custody, where they remain this morning. I can tell you that these are the first male, a 32-year-old male, a black British national, and a 35-year-old man, a British national of Caribbean descent. They were both arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Both were born in the United Kingdom. As stated, they remain this morning in separate police stations for questioning. 10 people were taken to hospital by ambulance, and another person self-presented later that evening. While 9 were initially believed to have life-threatening injuries, following assessment and treatment, 4, thankful to say, have been discharged. However, 2 patients remain in a life-threatening condition. British Transport Police declared a major incident yesterday, and counter-terrorism policing were initially supporting our investigation. However, at this stage, there is nothing to suggest that this is a terrorist incident. This is a British Transport Police investigation, and we continue to work to establish at pace the full circumstances and the motivations that have led to this incident. At this early stage, it would not be appropriate to speculate on the cause of this incident. As you can see, the station this morning remains closed. However, we expect trains to be passing through the station this morning. Passengers will see a high visibility presence of police officers at stations and on trains throughout today, up and down the transport network. Our officers are there to reassure the public and to address any concerns they may have. I'd like to thank the public personally for their patience and their cooperation. Yesterday evening, which has already greatly assisted our investigation through the help the public have tendered, as well as the multi-agency response partners from colleagues in other blue light services. I'd like to extend my thanks to our colleagues within Cambridgeshire Police, the East of England Ambulance Service, Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue Service, and counter-terrorism policing. And finally, I'd like to appeal for anyone that's watching who has information connected to yesterday's incident, however big or small you feel that may be, that has not yet spoken to police, to make contact. You can do so by texting the British Transport Police on 61016, that's 61016, quoting reference 663 of the 1st of November 2025. Thank you very much. I won't be taking any more questions, but thank you very much.
Did they guess how much these were?
Well, as expected, I didn't think he would take any questions, but that is breaking news. We've heard from Superintendent John Lovelace from British Transport Police. He says it is not at this stage being treated as a terrorist incident. 2 men in custody. The first one, 32-year-old black British national. The second one is 35, white man of Caribbean descent, both born in the United Kingdom. The attack, as you know, it's the 6:25 Doncaster train en route to London King's Cross. The police were alerted by a 999 call at 7:42. Quite astonishing. Within 8 minutes of that 999 call, those 2 men were in custody. But there were 10 people were hospitalised, 9 had life-threatening injuries. Currently now, four have been discharged, two are still with life-threatening conditions. So that's major news coming out of Huntingdon. Let's talk to Kevin Hurley, who's the former Surrey Police and Crime Commissioner. Kevin Hurley, should I say, is it wrong to say I'm relieved it's not terror-related? It's still a horrific, terrible attack that's caused terror on a train and will have horrified people the length and breadth of the land.
Well, of course, we actually don't know it's not yet terrorist related, because the police have not yet said. They don't know what the motive is.
Well, they're not regarding it as a terrorist incident. Hang on, Kevin, they're saying they're not regarding it as a terrorist incident at this stage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not sure how they could form a view one way or another. If you look at the timings involved, the fact that these two people would have been sleeping overnight in custody, and it's still quite early to get to the bottom of it. I don't think anyone can quite say what was behind this. You know, we could conjecture perhaps it's cannabis psychosis has driven this with someone, but it's just pure conjecture. I think some interesting points out of it, and you did raise a good one there, where you said it's astonishing that they were in custody within 8 minutes of the 999 call. And that was by the grace of God, because by pure chance, the train driver stopped at Huntingdon railway station, where across the other side of the car park is Cambridgeshire Police headquarters, where all the armed response units are all based. So I don't think we, from a, if you like, police deployment point of view, we can take any comfort out of that other than saying, what a piece of luck that was, because had that train have stopped perhaps the next station further down the track, it would have been most unlikely that armed officers would have been immediately available, and possibly not even tasers. And I think from my point of view, the learning of this, as is with so many of these random attacker situations, is just how vulnerable we, the public, are, because of the current policy of not arming all response officers with a pistol. It's pure luck the train stopped right next door to the base of the armed response officers, who were probably, at that time of evening, eating their sandwiches next door. So let's not get too... although they did a great job, don't get me wrong.
Nevertheless, Kevin, we have to be grateful that they take the luck when we get it, right? And they, of course, it struck me immediately, my God, what a relief that they were so close to the police HQ. However, those police officers then do what they do best. They run straight into the face of danger. And as you point out, some of them will have been armed, some won't have been.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And of course, for the armed officers in particular, they know that if they pull the trigger, they're probably going to end up suspended from their normal role, investigated for years, potentially charged at the Old Bailey, as is happening all the time, only for good British juries of true citizens, after about 3 or 4 minutes, acquitting them. And yet again, the Independent Office of Police Complaints, which is far from independent in my judgment, then insists that they get an internal discipline hearing to still try and sack them. Yet these men and women are still prepared to rush forward and, if you like, protect the public. I think the point I'm making here is, had this have been in a shopping centre, the next railway station down the track, we might not have been so fortunate in that the first officers to turn up might have been unarmed, and with police recruitment standards as they are now, there might be a couple of people who are 4'10", and really less than 8 stone in weight. So, we need to be realistic and say, if we, the public, want to be kept safe by all our police officers, all of the response officers should at least carry a firearm so they can act decisively to protect me and my family. And that's the point I'm making here.